How to navigate the emotions that come with layoffs.
About our topic for the month, and that is how to navigate the emotions and navigate the next steps through layoff time. And it's happening more than we anticipated, even coming into 2025 across industries. And the fact is, either you're on the short list, someone you know is on the short list, or you're making out the short list. I've been on each side. And I want to make sure that leaders understand what tools they have at their disposal in order to thrive as best they can during times like these. I talked about how when that notice came through for my surplus that I cheered, I could cheer because I had done the preparation ahead of time. And my mind was pretty much out the door anyway. And I had a plan for my future. And look, I've checked off all of those boxes that I talked about in no thanks. But all that to be said, it would not be true if I shared with you that that was the only emotion I felt. Sure, the day after I left the big company and I'd wrapped up in Las Vegas at the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, I got on a plane and I went to Jackson, Tennessee to speak on stage with one of the stars from a different world. His name, you probably would know him as Ron Johnson, but it's Daryl M. Bell. He and I became friends, and that story is chronicled throughout my writings as well. But the reality is that when I returned from that HBCU and I got back to Dallas, I felt some kind of way. And it took someone like me in the helping industry to help me sort through my emotions. As it turned out, I was going through grief. And yes, two things can be true at once. I could be ecstatic about my future, knowing that I'd be writing books, stepping on stage and speaking and living the life that I've always wanted to live. But it's also true that I experienced loss. And I'm not just talking about the job itself. I'm talking about the loss of interacting with the colleagues that I knew and respected and appreciated. And some of them who had become friends each and every day that I didn't have contact with anymore each and every day. Yes, we could reach out to each other by text. We could talk on the phone. We could even Zoom. But the fact that we weren't interacting day in and day out like we were before was a loss. Layoffs instigate loss in all sorts of forms. And unless you can name the emotions that you're feeling, you cannot tame them. So I'm engaging neuroscience and positive psychology to help leaders like you make it through that change with grace and with as much joy as you can possibly muster while owning the emotions, the very, very real emotions that you feel along the way. Join us in the circle. I'm adding the link below. We're talking about these things all month long, and I'll see you online.